So I've been working on this painting for about 2 weeks now, a little bit more than 2 weeks now. Not very intensely though, I've been taking it very slowly. I've just started getting back into it yesterday, and this is when I did all of the sun and the whole figure, and I started doing it with this like tap 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 motion. It feels a bit like dreamy and smooth. I don't know, I think it works really well. I can't quite get the skin color correctly. I can never manage to get the skin color correctly, and like I watched YouTube videos on how to do it, and I'm still completely awful at it, but I've accepted it for now. I think this is already better than what I used to do before, and that's okay. I don't know what this painting is going to look like, but I think it's going to be very layery. I have to lure her in with food. Yeah. Concentrate. This is Kisa. This is the reason why there is a bunch of hair in all of my paintings. She denies all of the accusations, but we know it's true. So Kisa, what do you think about art? That's a very funny thing to say. I mean, you grew up with two artists as parents. How did that impact you? That's interesting. You see, she doesn't seem to have a lot of like creative talent herself, which is weird because again, both of her parents are artists. My partner is a writer, and they also draw and paint. And she seems to have zero interest actually in any kind of artistic pursuit, which is disappointing. Kisa, иди ко мне. You see, Kisa, art is very complicated. On one hand, it's the easiest thing in the world. On the other hand, it's the most difficult and complicated one because there is no right and wrong. But even with this, a lot of people actually argue about it because there are some people who think there is one correct answer, and there are like better artists objectively, and there are objectively worse artists. And it's very funny conversation. I think most of the people agree that art is subjective to some extent, but the extent to which it's subjective, people kind of have different opinions about, and that's funny. That's funny. You see, Kisa? You see the way you're laying like on your back? This is you. Yeah. See? This is you. So, Kisa, what do you think? How do you judge art? How do you decide what's good, what's bad, what deserves attention, what doesn't deserve attention? Это что такое? There's food there. See, in the end, artists are just normal people, and all they want is to be paid for their work, to live a good life, to be able to afford nice things, to be able to support their family. But there is a lot of prejudice when it comes to art and making money, because some people believe that if you try to make money with your art, if you try to be quote-unquote successful, then you're not making real art, then you're a sellout. There are people who make art just to make money, and there are people who kind of get stuck in one style, in one phase, and they don't grow as an artist anymore because this thing that they're doing sells really well. And then, I mean, it's difficult, right? When you have a choice between making what's true and experimenting and making something that's gonna work and people gonna buy it. Like, I get it, sure, makes sense. So people have to choose their own path, kind of, and do it in the way that works the best for them and works the best for their goals. I do think it's also possible, absolutely possible, to stay true to yourself and also make money as an artist. And this is our goal here. Don't fall asleep. Kisa. Don't fall asleep. I'm explaining something really important. Where do you think your kibble comes from, huh? Where do you think your food comes from, Your chicken feed that you like so much? I'm not gonna give you any. Don't get excited. Last. Oh, this is ready. No, chicken. Oh no, she moved the camera, bitch. She moved the camera. You see, Kisa, I think this painting is going to be very different to my last one, because with this one I really want to make it like very light, I want to make it very playful. And I actually did want to do the same with my last painting, but I kind of failed in that regard. Like, I love the way it came out, don't get me wrong, but it feels kind of heavy, which I think makes sense for the time and all. It makes perfect sense. I have nothing against it. It came out the way it needs to come out, But with this one, I really want to have this feeling of like playfulness of this. I want it to feel like unfinished, almost in a way, but obviously finished. And that's why I'm trying to combine like different styles, and that's why I'm going to combine different mediums to have this a feeling of a sketch almost, but obviously like big scale, and this feeling of just play, play, interactiveness, engagement with like all different stuff. Do you see what I'm trying to do? Do you think it's working? I think it's working. What do you think? That's interesting. Something about this painting that's a tiny bit different from the way it usually is that here I have to really take it one step at a time. Yeah, like do one thing, get it done, see how it affects the rest, and from there work further. Because I really do not see like far ahead with it, Like, I don't know what all of the next steps are gonna be. Yeah, exactly. So I just, for example, I paint the white background. Like, it was white before, but I put more oil in it to give it some texture, and I painted it. And now I'm seeing like, okay, actually I could put a little bit more white behind the leg, and there in the corner maybe make some like, even some kind of landscape, But like before I did the white, I had no idea. Yeah. Exactly. See, and that's the fun of it. And I think this is where my experience comes into play, because I know it will work out eventually somehow. And I know just because I don't see the final result yet, it does not mean it's not gonna work, I have the experience. I know if I keep on working on it, eventually something will come out of it. And that's the beauty. I wish I could apply it to the rest of my life. It's not as easy. There I get scared, but here I don't feel scared, You have nothing to add? Oh. Minata. You see, she speaks 3 languages. She's also very into sports, but yeah, no art at all. Don't look at me like that. There's nothing bad about it. I'm just stating a fact. Like, you don't have to be good at art. If you don't have it in you, if you don't have the desire to create, then you don't. Well, yeah. See? That's okay. Yeah, so I think with this painting, again, the next step would be, I think, is to work on the hands, because they are blue the way the leg is. So I think I want to add more blue to it, make it a bit more vibrant, and from there we'll have to see. It's a process, and we're here for the process, aren't we? I painted the face on the painting, and I was like super happy with it. I was like, oh, that's such a nice face. And then I put the painting up, and I was like, oh shit, the face doesn't fit. So yeah, the face doesn't fit the figure, doesn't fit the pose, it does not fit the perspective. I don't know why I thought it did. So I'll have to redo the whole thing. I don't know yet how. I have an issue with faces generally. I haven't figured them out yet. So my partner was kind of like, oh, maybe you should focus on just portraits for a while. And I'm like, but maybe I will focus on the portraits for a while. Maybe that could be my project after this painting. Just make a bunch of portraits. I never paint portraits. I've painted like one portrait and I don't like it. Wait, let me show you. Well, actually, not liking it is a very harsh word. I do like it. I think it's a good portrait. But there are things about it that I don't like. So I don't know, maybe I should figure out the faces, finally. Maybe that's gonna be my next videos, a bunch of portraits. People seem to like portraits. I don't know, we'll see.
Ne voyons pas la nécessité d'une remise axiologique et ontologique drastique. C'est que nous faisons preuve de cécité, que nos descendants, s'ils survivent, auront, croyez-moi, du mal à partir. Si même face à cette évidence, nous ne voyons pas la nécessité d'une remise axiologique et ontologique drastique, c'est que nous faisons preuve de cécité, que nos descendants, s'ils survivent, auront, croyez-moi, du mal à partir. Si même face à cette évidence, nous ne voyons pas la nécessité d'une refonte axiologique et ontologique.
Seit mehreren Jahren bleibt kein Kontinent von extremen Wetterereignissen verschont. Überschwemmungen, Taifune, Brände und Hitzewellen. Zur Zeit der Katastrophen ein Blick auf unsere Karten. Wie man in Pakistan sieht, ist eine der Folgen der Erderwärmung der Anstieg des Meeresspiegels um 15 cm seit 100 Jahren. Küstenregionen und dicht besiedelte Mündungsgebiete sind ständig von Überschwemmungen bedroht, die meisten davon in Asien, dem inzwischen meist bedrohten Kontinent. Denn nicht alle Länder sind gleich angesichts der Veränderungen des Klimas. Hier sieht man die gegenüber den Folgen des Klimawandels besonders besonders verheerend, weil Armut und Mangel Gesundheitsstrukturen doch der Meeresspiegel ist nicht das einzige Grenzen zu globaler Taifune, die stärker zerstörerische Wirbelstürme seit 20 Jahren zu. 2019 war in Australien auf dem Finanzmarkt weite Heere, mindestens 300 Tiere gestorben und über 12 Millionen Hektar Wald wurden zerstört. Auch an der Westküste der USA und in Portugal und den Philippinen hat das Zeitalter der Riesenwaldbrände begonnen. In Brasilien und Indonesien trägt die Waldvernichtung erheblich dazu bei. Nicht zu vergessen, Frankreich mit den jährlichen Waldbränden im Sommer 2022. Dazu kommen Hitzewellen und alle